What's up YouTube, it's your boy the Real Quinn Jr. and I'm back with another video. But today we're going to be talking about a new game that Bandai recently just released a game preview of, Scarlet Nexus. If you don't know, this game will be dropping in June and the anime will be starting up in July. So Bandai gave us a preview to basically try the game out. So in this video I'm going to be going over a few points that I got from the demo to let you guys know how the game felt to me. Things I'm going to be focusing on is combat, the graphics, customization, the enemy AI, and also the allies and how they interact with you. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the video. So I know a lot of you might be wondering, what is Scarlet Nexus? Honestly, the game caught me off guard also when it came out, but basically the synopsis of it, you can play as one of the characters, either the boy or the girl. I'll give you the names later. And you have psychokinetic powers with also other things like teleportation and invisibility. I'll get into that later on in the video. But it basically seems like your goal is to take down the enemy, which are called others. So as you see in the video, you have all types of customization. They let you change the controls. You can switch the buttons up if you want to. So you can really just change it to whatever your playstyle is. So when you start off, they allow you to choose which character you want to start with. The first character you can start with is Yuhito. His past is basically he was saved by an OCF member and ended up causing him to want to join the OSF, and his moves basically focus on close quartered combat. If you choose the female, Kasane, her backstory is a little bit different. It's mainly focused on wanting to protect her sister, and her moves are more range typed. And yes, depending on which character you choose, the storyline will be completely different. I'll show you later on in the video content. There's some things that are similar, but it's completely two different stories, so you can't swap between characters while you're in the middle of the story. Like once you choose the character, that's who you're playing through with, so far from what it seems like from the demo. So when you first start, they'll throw you off in the demo to get you, used to all of the controls that actually go into the game. Jumping, attacks, dodges, and then also getting into using your telekinesis powers, as you can see there. And as you can see, they make you do the same thing for the female character, Kasane. There's no skipping through this part of the demo, so you're gonna have to learn the buttons with both characters. Overall, it took me honestly about 30 minutes to go through the Kasane part, because I did Yuhito first, so I'd already kind of got the controls and I was actually able to finish with Kasane a lot faster. Overall, if you're playing through both characters, which I highly suggest, you'll finish the demo probably in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So now we get into the good stuff. So starting with the combat. In all honesty, fighting with Kasane, it was actually pretty fun. I enjoyed fighting more with Yuhito, but Kasane, I liked her ranged ability and it allowed me to stay back and honestly just be able to slash enemies. One of the key differences between the enemies is with Kasane, since her abilities, some of them are electric, the enemies were kind of using water elements, so it allowed Kasane to exploit them whenever you use these abilities. As you can see in the bottom right hand corner, depending on which party members you have, which I'll show you later on, different party members have different abilities, which could be electricity, invisibility. You also have the ability to just move through time slowly, and I'm going to show you all these abilities. And what you just saw was also one of the ultimate moves that you have. So it's basically like a finisher that you can use on your enemies whenever their health is at a certain point, and it basically allows you to just complete a finisher. I've seen with that. So like I was saying before, there's different SAS skills you can use. So right now you're finna see me use the hyper velocity, which is the bottom skill. It basically slows you down, so you can see you're able to run through time, and it basically allows you to move faster than your enemies and catch up to them. Those enemies that I'm fighting right now, they fly around pretty quickly, and it's hard for a normal human to actually hit them without using the time jump. The next ability I'll be going into detail in is the duplication ability, which is going to be the blue icon. This ability comes in handy whenever you're fighting enemies like you see in front of me, which are basically armor enemies where you actually have to break down their armor before you can actually inflict actual damage against them. What the duplicate ability does, it basically, whenever you're using your telekinesis ability, it duplicates whatever object you're moving and basically allows you to inflict more damage, which comes in handy when breaking down the armors of enemies like this. And then as you just saw, you just had an ultimate attack where whenever sometimes you can press the LT button and it'll allow you to interact with your telekinetic powers, and if you move the stick in the correct direction, it basically inflicts a critical attack on your opponent. The last full ability that I was actually able to use during the demo was the Sas Invisibility, which basically allows you to sneak up on these enemies that come out of the boxes, and they basically wait for you to get close and then they just disappear. Using the invisibility allows you to sneak up on them and be able to knock them out of their boxes and actually be able to attack them. I've seen from this game though, there's a lot of ways you can go about defeating certain enemies, so I mean, it's not like you have to use the invisibility technique every time you fight these enemies. Like honestly, I thought it was a lot cooler to use the warp ability and honestly just blast my opponent with speed. I honestly really enjoyed playing with Kasuna. Using Yuhito is a lot different. I mean, like I said, he's a close ranged fighter, so you don't really get the range aspect fighting with him, but his combos, and one thing I really enjoyed from this game is the air combo where you knock your opponent in the air, basically when you're pressing the A and the X button, I believe. It allows you to get a lot of really good combos in. And like I said, with Yuhito, his characters, whenever the enemies that he's fighting, they tend to have oil based elements, because Yuhito, if you can see his right ability, he uses one of his party members to get a pyrokinetic upgrade, and basically his blade will be in flames. This allows for honestly some pretty cool effects. Like I know one of the combos, it's like a fire tornado, and it's like kind of gives me a little bit of Demon Slayer, Rengoku vibes a little bit. And then the ultimates, whenever you press the LT button to finish off the enemies, for the most part, from what I've seen from the demo, a lot of them are pretty similar. But in certain situations, like when you're fighting enemies in the boxes and stuff like that, it'll have different animations where you're kind of like pulling their head out of the box. Sorry for how I pronounce these, but the next build is going to be the next ability is going to be the Sclerosis. Basically, it hardens your skin, and this also works whenever you're fighting an armor enemy. It's kind of like with Kasuna, but except this basically makes you invulnerable to attacks for a certain amount of time. But it seems like it lasts maybe about 3 to 4 seconds. It's not that long of an ability, but it can come in handy in certain situations. I personally really enjoyed his teleportation ability, which you can see right now. It's the top ability. It basically allows him to really just dodge attacks a lot more. In certain situations you have to go through fences and walls, and the teleportation ability allows you to do that. I'll show that later in the video also. And then also, like I said, the flame, which is also one of the abilities that I really enjoy using. And the last skill that you can utilize with Yuhito basically allows you to see invisible enemies. There are enemies that can hide from you visually, and you have to use this skill to see them. Honestly, that's all I've been able to see from that ability so far. But you see right here, you got a different animation whenever you finished off one of the invisible enemies. So like I said, for a lot of them, it kind of seems a little bit repetitive, but then also you get these different animations, and then also when you have the YB combos, you and your party members can just do devastating combos. It's honestly very enjoyable. So if I'm being honest, throughout the game I found myself getting lost a lot. And in all honesty, the map system really helped. And when you look at here, honestly, the customization is pretty nice. You know, it looks pretty cool. You can see all the party members, what they can actually give to you, their health, their rank, the abilities they give you. And it kind of makes me wonder if, if later on, if you might end up getting different party members that, might have different perks and stuff. Or maybe you can like add different things onto them to make them even more useful out there when you're fighting, since this seems like this is a single player game, so there's not going to be any co-op or multiplayer, at least at launch, from what it seems like. And then when you continue going through, you can also see items and different things that you pick up as you're going through, weapons, just all types of different things. So I mean, the game is a little bit loot based. It seems like, you can actually get some different things to change the way your character looks. And I know when I was using the girl, I was actually able to go in and, change the way. I added I believe a breastplate, and then also I added a mask and some like little cat gloves. And these things that you put on there actually give you different boosts. Like, you'll get attack boost or power boost or boost in your health. And the cool things about these changes when you put them on your character is that they actually show up in the cutscenes also. So that's actually something that's really big when it comes to these games that wants to give you different cosmetics and stuff that you can put on, is actually making them show up in the cutscenes. I know that's probably one of the most irritating things ever, when you put something on and you can't even see it in the cutscenes. And then there's also a brain map, which is basically Scarlet Nexus's version of a skill tree, which, allows you to upgrade your telekinetic powers throughout the game as you gain brain points from leveling up. Like, I know one thing I was able to do was add an ability where it allows me to dash through the air. And then they also have the story, the library, and then also the options tab where you can go back through and change any settings if it's not working for you, if you need to move buttons around or anything like that. And we finally get to the last things we're going to touch on in the video, which is, basically the graphics and how the enemy and the allies interact with you. Now, I'm not even going to sit here and act like I'm the biggest graphics guy or I just know everything about everything, but throughout the demo when I played it, I've been playing on the Xbox Series X and everything ran smoothly. I didn't have any glitches in the scenes or any dropped frames. Everything honestly worked pretty well. So the game actually plays pretty well and looks pretty nice. And honestly, like I said, sometimes when you can see right now, when you see the flame moves and just attacking with fire, it honestly just gives me Rengoku vibes. I just feel like I'm using fire breathing techniques. The enemies throughout the fighting, note that I was on normal mode, so that could also play a factor. But in all honesty, the boss didn't really seem too difficult at the end. I know some guys were complaining about the fact that, for part of the thing with the boss, you have to get him underneath one of these little machines and drop it on him. And you kind of got to lure the enemy underneath there. But in all honesty, the boss fight wasn't really too difficult, but it might have also been because I was on normal mode. But I honestly felt like fighting the little bull things was honestly a little bit more difficult to me. As far as the allies, I feel like your party members fought pretty well and they hold their own pretty good. I had to revive them one time when I was playing as Yuito, but that might have just been because I was playing like buns, to be honest, because like I said, the bulls was giving me trouble. But yeah, definitely play both parts of the story, using Yuito's story mode and playing with Kasuna. Like I said, it's different because Kasuna uses more electric abilities and Yuito has the fire abilities, so the enemy elements are different based off of that. All around, it seems like a pretty solid game, and I'm honestly pretty excited for it to come out in June. I'll definitely be playing through this, and let me know in the comments if you guys want to see more of this game on my channel. Might be able to do like, certain missions, or if y'all want me to do a full playthrough live or whatever, let me know, and I'll definitely put some content on this channel. But in all honesty, that's going to be it for my content today. definitely try out the demo. I really don't know how long it's going to be available, but it definitely is a game to try out, and I'm definitely excited for the anime to come out. I definitely will be following this. Let me know who y'all guys like playing with more. Right now I'm leaning more towards the Yuito, just because, you know, he gives me the Rengoku vibes. But I'm gonna see y'all boys next time, and make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe, and make sure y'all turn the bell notification so y'all can know whenever I post new videos. All my socials are in the description, and make sure you guys follow me on Twitch. I'll be streaming games on there also, and who knows, if I get enough likes or comments on this video, you just might see some Scarlet Nexus video content on this YouTube channel. Till next time.